fellas, so here's a 2015 F-250 crew cab short box. We picked it up from Oklahoma. It's got 235,000 rounds on it. We got it pretty cheap, but it needs a lot of stuff. So it needs a power steering pump. It needs the clock and the steering wheel. That's the wires that hook all your buttons in your steering wheel to the computer. It needs a whole lot of cleaning. In the back here, we got a fifth wheel plate to mount, and we got all new cab mounts to put in because the cab mounts are completely sacked out. And I bought new cab mount bolts that might be overkill, but being it's from Oklahoma, they'll probably come out, but they might not. All right, so one of the steps we're doing is getting rid of the running boards, and we'll make our metal ones like we make for all the other trucks, like Tyler made for his truck. The metal ones we make are 1/4 inch thick, and they run right to the frame, so you're not stepping on the cab. These things just rust things out.
Alrighty, guys. So, yeah.
Oh my God. Alrighty, guys. Here's pushing 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Let's see if Jack actually stop staring at me back there. Alright, guys. So we had to change out the bushings for the cab mounts of the truck here. So here's the front. It wasn't too miserable.
It was in good shape.
Center's getting a little worse. But rear, it's all stacked. You can see it was riding on the metal. It was fun driving home like that. Rear end of the cab was bang, bang, bang the whole way home.
Yeah, Tyler drove it home from Oklahoma.
Yeah,
he followed me with the camper.
Yeah, it was fun. And
so compared to the new bushing?
Well, oh yes, here's the new bushing here. Lots more height. You can see the height difference in the truck already. Then another important information we later found out as we started is they need a 1/2 inch breaker bar to start, and you'll see your hot rod.
Okay, back to the breaker bar. You have to breaker bar the bolts out the whole way.
The whole way. Do not use impact.
Don't use an impact. We learned that in the first two.
Yeah,
and they go hard the whole way, so we had to use the hot rod
to heat up all that Loctite that was on them.
Yep. So we ended up having to take the interior apart to be able to take the rubber plugs out to get the hot rod on the nuts anyways. But all you actually have to heat up is the bolt with the Loctite with the hot rod. But I don't see any other way we would never got the bolts out.
Yeah, there would have been zero chance.
So anyways, and the other thing we got going on is that fifth wheel plate.
We got them out.
That will be later on, maybe today, probably tomorrow. However.
So we got a block of wood jacket to put the new mounts in.
Yeah, we're doing front clip mounts also. They came in the kit.
Might as well do them.
We should have left the front mounts off the truck though, or left them untight first, because it doesn't seem very happy.
There's a lot of pounds on there.
Okay, wait, let me check. Okay, I need the new bushing. Okay, lower it down slowly. All right, you can put the jacks and the blocks of wood away.
Alrighty, guys. So the next step to the process is we're going to zip out this box with taking out all 8 bolts from that bolt down to the frame. Then take out the filler neck. Then after that, take out all wiring, lift it up with the hoist, drive the truck forwards, mount our fifth wheel plate, and then drill some holes into our box so we can put the box back on down onto our fifth wheel plate, and then it should be ready to zip back together.
Yep.
Let's do that.
All right.
Alright guys, so as you saw us pull off the box there, and let me tell you, it's a little different look. The cab back here needs a little help, as you can see, a little paint help. Other than that, we're going to start mounting our fifth wheel plate.
The wore off paint is because it used to have a welding rig on the back of it, not a box, before we got a hold of it. And the cab bolts being wore out or sacked out, it had settled the back of the cab down, so then it was rubbing up against the welding rig. So she hasn't had the easiest life.
Yeah, we can see that.
It's cheap enough, we'll fix.
Even
this also had some rubber on, or some oil on it one time, so it's not sealing well. The vent for the cab. I don't know, we might try to come up with something on that maybe. Just because in our super cold weather, having a pneumonia hole is not great.
Yeah.
So we got to mount a fifth wheel and do some cleanup, maybe some painting. We'll have to see how crazy we get on this stuff.
Alrighty guys, so we're going to sand this down. Got the airline hooked up, 120 grit.
None of it done properly for sure.
Obviously.
No matter, it'll work.
And then try to find some Oxford white spray paint. Alright guys, so we got the box up on the hoist here. We gotta do a little work to it. Notice that these aren't where they're supposed to go. They're actually supposed to go up in there. And do that for them quick.
Yeah, it needs work.
Yep, we also got that all primed up, let it dry a bit, then we can sand it down with some 400 grit, and then
Don't get too close to that guy. Don't show him the big rungs in it.
Oh, I know that. And then put some Oxford white spray paint on it, so it'll match close. Well, we're going to start hole sawing out the hole for the fifth wheel. Jack's sweating over there, dang near crying that we're drilling holes in the box. Almost broke your wrist there.
Oh, cover the mat.
Surprised he didn't break his wrist there.
Well, there it is. Let's hope it's in the right spot.
Yeah, Jack, for that. Oh, you might have to weld up that back up.
So the fifth wheel ball has been very much stuck in there for God knows how long. Ball's underneath, it's kind of upside down right now. So, probably should have some hearing protection on it. Okay, air blower.
Yeah. Alright guys, we're going to be pushing out the ball with the 50-ton press here. See how many PSIs it takes.
Barely made it to 5 tons before he started moving.
Alrighty guys, so what we got going on here is we're about to put the box back on. Recently today that I didn't film is I went and stole off the 99 on this pedestal out there. the mud flap there so it can match this side here. Then after that, we got that painted. It matches pretty well on camera.
It doesn't match at all, but it will be hid. The box will hide it, so it'll be okay.
Oh, the camera says it matches well. And I say it matches pretty well. So, yeah, I will say that.
And the fifth wheel plate.
And then last night, I mounted the fifth wheel plate. It's all on there. And we're about to start giving her. Alrighty, guys. So what we're doing here is we're making running boards right now. So this is 2-inch by 2-inch by 1/4-inch wall square tube there. We got all these soapstoned out there. So we can that'll be the each peg that goes back up towards the frame. This is a really good setup. I did this on my truck as well. Dad's did all of his trucks as well. They'll turn out really good. Then you, at the end there, you'll rhine line this for grip. Make it a lot safer down the road in case you get T-boned. And they're just better in general because there won't be any salt held up against the frame or the cab or anything in general. So, first things first is we're going to have to cut out some caps here and then weld in some caps on both passenger and driver sides. Let's do that. Okay. I would say that turned out pretty good as well. Wouldn't you agree, Jack? Close up here? Coming closer. I would say it turned out pretty good. Vertical downs. I very much do like doing vertical downs MIG. They are fun. So, what we're doing here is we're capping each end. We're just going to do all that quick. And then after that, we'll get it all lined up. Get our actual pegs back towards the frame. Weld them on once they're all aligned and ready to go. Well, if you do this all right, you're going to end up with some really nice running boards. Let's do that. Okay, that's good. Alrighty, guys. So what we have accomplished so far since you've seen, we got the ends capped. Then what we did is we got this all jigged up so it is just flush with your rocker panel down here. We're taking measurements off of it the whole way across there. We got this 2 inches away from this. We're just using a speed square to go take measurements off of right there and then tape measure. And then we also have this 3.5 inches from here to there. And we got this at 0 degrees, so it has no angle to it. And then is also, we made sure that was the slant of the truck as well, which all you have to do is take measurements off that and have jack stands different sizes so you can angle them. Next, what we did too to figure out the degree of angle back up to the frame is, so to be cheap, what you do is you take a block of wood and you just kind of guess. I'm sure there's some mathematical calculation you could take, but right now I got these at 2 17-degree bevels here. And that seems to fit just perfectly right up into the frame up there to where we can angle this down, weld it directly there. And then after that, we should be able to, once welded and tacked up and ready to roll, we're going to go back on the right line. And before that, we still got the other side to knock out. Well, let's do that. Alrighty, guys, so the next stage of the process here is we're cutting out our angles in a 2x2 square tube here with 1/4 inch wall. And we got the 17 degrees bevel here, and we're about to measure over 16 inches to make our next cut of 17 degrees. So then we can copy our blocking of wood there to stick up in to the frame up there and weld it all in. First we'll tack it all once we get all done, and once we're all satisfied with what we have, then you weld it in and it's pretty much permanent at that point. Make sure to clamp down both ends, even though it's probably not necessary, but these are very nice to pinch. They're pretty expensive blades, and you don't want to take any chances. And let's start. Alrighty guys, so what we're gonna have to do here is we got them all ground out for the spots we're gonna put them in. We're gonna actually put 4 in, but we're starting to tack up a few because the necks have to be actually coped to fit. And what's gonna happen here is we're gonna get them up in there, both me and Jack, and he's gonna hold square and pretend not to be afraid of the camera nor the welder. And then what's going to have to happen is I'm going to just tack him in while he's holding them square. We're going to square them all up. And then from there, once this is all tacked, then it should be pretty easy to ramrod the next ones in, being coped and all. And once that's, and we also have to be mindful of the parking brake there. And you also can't get this frame too hot because the fuel lines are behind it. And we don't want any of that bad stuff to happen because Jack will get angry at me. Yep, he's gonna have to pretend not to be scared, and we'll do that. Alright guys, we've been doing the nightmare attacking this thing all together. So we got them all tacked together there. We still got one more to go. That one's actually gonna have to be coped. Going on right now. I finally finished final welding. What we're going to be doing here is Jack's acetoning down all the steel. So what we can do is we can paint, and let me show you on the other side as well. And we're going to rhineline as well as that. So up to them blue marks there, or I shouldn't say marks, but masking tape. We'll rhineline up to them, and then the rest of the way up to the frame, we'll do some rust oxidizer. And it should turn out really nice. It's going to be identical to my truck. The only difference is my truck had only 3 cross members back up to the frame instead of 4, because this is a crew cab instead of a long box. So let's see the next step. So alrighty guys, so what's going to happen here is Jack's shaking up the rhinoliner. We're going to start painting here. While he's doing that, and I'm done with you taping here, I'm going to just mask off a little bit. I think it's like 2 inches up onto the cross members up there. I'm going to mask them off so we can rhineline up to them. Then after that, we'll switch over some rust oxidizer. We already got these all acetone down. And we'll paintbrush them on, and you guys get to watch us paint. Should be interesting. Well, let's do that. Alrighty guys, So the next stage of the process, since we saw Jack struggling so hard over here, putting the right
I did not struggle.
Yes, he did. I had to come over here and help his little butt along. And we didn't have, I probably should have shook it up into the lathe, with the lathe, the 3-foot lathe there for the attachment for shaking the cans. He didn't get enough rubber in his mixing here. And when he did get enough, he just kind of splattered it all over the place. So I had to come in here and just kind of ski it off for him.
Wow.
Anyways, we got that done. We probably should have let it dry a little bit longer so we could do the ends down there, so we didn't do any of that. But we're just going to get the next stage of the process of, instead of putting rust oxides, we're just going to put spray paint since we're out of it right now. And we do have some flat black spray paint, which should match identical colors and be just fine. So that is the next stage of the process. Let's do that.
Can we redo that? I didn't get your face.
Alright guys, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe, it really helps with the channel. Next video should be on my truck actually, and we'll be installing a toolbox and a fifth wheel plate into it. Hopefully that should turn out well and make my truck even look more like it's right around style. Later.